More Than Words with Wendy Damanari.
Have you ever been chatting with someone and realised that you got distracted and that you have no idea what they're saying? I know I'm occasionally guilty of this. Are you? Well, let's chat to communications trainer Wendy Damanari about active listening.
Right. Active listening is really giving your full attention to somebody, listening, not being distracted, picking up on everything they're saying and also picking up on those non-verbals because that does come into it as well. Giving your full attention, being prepared to ask some clarifying questions as well, to even paraphrase and to summarise. So essentially it's just you're not talking and you're switching off and you're absolutely devoting more than 100% to what the other person is saying.
Yeah. And why is that so important to show that we're listening and to have that active listening approach?
Well, I think besides being polite, it's, we always say to younger people, well, if you're not listening, you're missing out on something. You're not learning something. So one of the key things is if you are not giving your full attention, you could misinterpret what they're saying. You could get it all wrong. You could actually miss out on some vital information. You could miss out on learning something that could help you. So that's being a little bit, selfish, but, you could be doing yourself a disservice by not listening as well. And it is a professional and respectful thing to do as well too.
And everybody likes to be heard.
Yes,
if you're taking the time to say something, you want that message to be heard.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So let's get some tips about how to be a great active listener.
Okay. Well, look, I think active listening requires, before we even start, it requires 3 skills. So I call them the AAA listening skills because they all start with an A. The first one is attitude. And that means so you're maintaining a very positive and constructive attitude before you even begin, okay? You're allowing yourself to be open to what is coming your way. The second A is attention. So as I said, you've got to, give all of your attention. And you can't get that concentration by thinking, I've got to concentrate. No, try to just keep all your attention focused on that person to make sure that what is coming to you as the recipient will be able to be processed. And the third A is adjustment. So that's all about cultivating a capacity to be flexible, to be adaptable and ready to adjust and tweak your thoughts and your plans and your ideas as you hear the other person speaking. So those 3 top skills are needed. Now, here are my top tips for active listening. The first thing you need to do is stop speaking.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, Wendy.
I'm sounding like a teacher now. Put your listening ears on. We can't listen if we're talking. All right. I know it sounds like basic, but that's it. So stop speaking, face the speaker, and have that eye contact because that's really important. The next one, and this flows on from what we've talked about in recent weeks about body language. Open yourself up and start listening. I say that in inverted commas, listening to their non-verbal cues, listening to their facial expressions, their body language, the tone of their voice, and being aware of your own as well. Number 3 tip, don't interrupt, even if it is to, make a comment or even to agree with what they're saying. Just let the person speak. Tip number 4, this is a tricky one, and it is hard, especially if you're talking about a contentious topic. Listen without judging or jumping to conclusions. Very hard to do.
Yeah.
Because we're only human, and if someone is talking about something that's quite controversial, and if we're certainly not in agreement with it, we just automatically get into that judging sort of mode. Number 5 tip, and I can be guilty of this, and I'm trying not to do it. While the other person is talking, stop planning what you're going to say next.
Yes.
You know that?
Yeah.
We all do it.
Yeah. Rather than listening to what the person's saying, you're thinking, what am I going to say when it's my turn, or I decide it's my turn?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But the thing is, as much as we think we can multitask, our brains can't really, and we certainly can't do it well. And we can't listen actively to the person and plan what we're going to say next at the same time. Show that you're listening. I did say before not to interrupt, but that doesn't mean that you can't nod. You can make those little kind of gestures that show that you're interested, that you're following them, that you're there with them. You haven't drifted off somewhere else. Next one goes a bit with the judging and jumping to conclusions. Try not to impose your own opinions or give solutions when they haven't been asked for. When most of the time people just want to be heard. They want to be listened to. They don't necessarily want to have somebody jumping in and solving their problems. That's good at times. But sometimes people just simply want to be listened to. Number 8, stay focused. Don't let your mind wander or allow the direction of the conversation to get you sidetracked as well. So that's all part of active listening, because if you're starting to drift off and wander and thinking about what you want to say, then you might lose the thread. You might miss out on something important. And the last one, paraphrasing and summing up as well, so that you're sure that you have understood what they're trying to convey. You might sort of nod and say, yeah, that's right, I understand. But then if you summarise it back to them and it's not at all what they wanted to say, then you haven't really heard it properly yet, have you?
That's Wendy Demonari, communications trainer from WorkReady NQ there.